Hello, my name is Jasper, and today I'm going to show you how to build this Hypertube Cyclotron Launcher that works in Satisfactory 1.0. This design is based on one from Spencer Wood on YouTube. I will link to his video in the description, but unfortunately his design doesn't work in 1.0 anymore. For some reason, you don't get launched out, you just either get stuck in an infinite loop, or you get spit out after one time around and don't get launched. So I'm going to show you how to build this so that it actually works in 1.0. It's a little bit finicky, so we'll talk about that in a minute. But first, let's start by putting a Hypertube support just right in the middle of these four. You can kind of build it however you want, so long as you have things you can snap to. Then you want to build another Hypertube support. 1, 2, 3, 4 ticks to the right. And then here's the most important change. You want to build your next support 1, 2, 3, 4 ticks towards you, and then 1.5 ticks to the right. To do that, you hit H to lock hologram, and that lets you go into nudge mode, where you can nudge things around with the arrow keys. So 1, 2, 3, 4 over, and then you hold the control key and hit right 1, 2, 3 times. Holding control lets you nudge by 1/2 of a tick. So 1, 2, 3 half ticks is 1.5 ticks total. And you left click and left click again, and it builds. Now you want to build the companion tube to this one, 4 ticks to the right, but you need to take into account that half tick, which the automatic placement won't do. So you want to, again, hit H, and I like to hit control then left to line them up, and then I just hit the right key 4 times. And you click twice to build it. And this should, in fact, be, if this is 1, 2, 3, 4, yeah, so you can see it's between 3 and 4 ticks on the main grid, which means it is in that half tick position. Cool. Now, all that done, it's getting dark. All that done, you want to build the tubes. If you have it in auto build mode, it gets very upset, so you want to hit R to change it to auto 2D or noodle, they both work. Build those. You want to put the entrances on. One on the first Hypertube support that you placed, and then one on the last one. Set up some power. Hook them up. And over there. And there's one last step to it. Oh no. Aha, that's why I built the walls. So you can see that it's starting to work. And all we need to do is add a launcher, but I want to show you something first. There is something odd about how these things are behaving now. So if I walk into one of them, you can see that it launches me out, but it launches me out even with the entrance in the opposite direction of the entrance. I have no explanation for this. There we go, that was a good launch. But this thing will launch you out in one of 2 directions, kind of at random. I haven't figured out a pattern to it. So, that's why it's important to build a wall around it to get an idea about where it's going to launch you, but you can just build a wall in the half that you don't want it shooting you towards. And then over here, you can build more or less even with that. And you go about 1, 2, 3, 4 ticks out from there, so there's 4 ticks between each. And then just build whatever exit tube you want. I like going into noodle mode. And you can point it wherever you want. You can angle it up. The longer this tube is, the shorter it will send you. The more time you spend in this tube, the more you'll bleed off speed, which can be useful if you don't want to go really, really far. Oh yeah, don't forget to put an entrance on that. Otherwise, you just bonk into it. So let's test it out, and then I can show you one more thing. Ah, beautiful. Sometimes it'll launch you out the other way. Sometimes it won't really get started. But as you can see, it'll launch you quite nicely. Let's try and land on that plateau. Beautiful. Oh. Hopefully I can avoid hostility. Now, let's say that you want to get back to base from here. There's one nice feature of this launcher. So I have a blueprint for it. This fits really easily on a tier 1 blueprint. Takes a second to render in sometimes. So this contraption takes 30 megawatts of power. Do you know what provides 30 megawatts of power? A singular biomass burner. So you get a biomass burner, you hook it up, you dump some leaves into it, and then you skedaddle. Well, might take a couple of tries, but should hopefully have enough leaves in there to keep it going. Come on. There we go. So I haven't figured out a reliable way to get it to always trigger and always shoot you in the right direction, but 3 or 4 tries to get the launcher working for the result that you end up back at base. That's where we started. As you can see, I had a shorter launch tube, which sent me quite a bit farther. And there's our biomass burner that was way over there finally shutting off. So that is how you can build a very low power, very low cost Hypertube launcher in Satisfactory 1.0. Thanks for watching.